In this video, what we're going to do is go over how to calculate the area and perimeter of a rectangle in C++. So in the last video, we went over how to do some basic mathematics. Now that we know the basics of how to do that, it'd be nice if we could actually do something useful in the computer. So we're going to go back to where we left off last time, and this was our program that just did some basic mathematics. We learned that this little hat symbol, although in math class it means to the exponent, it does not mean that. In C++, we have to use this little function called power. So just make sure, once again, that in advance you know what your answer should be so that you can actually calculate things correctly and make sure the computer is doing what you think it's doing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to create a program that does area and perimeter of a rectangle. We're just going to grab a new C++ template. We're actually going to throw in our program from last time. Going to give it a name. Since it's calculating the area and perimeter, that's what we're going to call it. And just to make sure everything is working, we're just going to run the program and hopefully it will spit out exactly what it did last time. So now we're just going to go in and we're going to change the header. Putting it on the next line so that it doesn't go too far. You'll notice there's this little gray line which is 80 characters. No line should usually go past that. So the goal of the program is to calculate the area and perimeter of a rectangle that has dimensions 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So for math class, for area, it's going to be 5 times 3 or 15. So hopefully our area should equal 15. And for perimeter, it's twice these added together. So these added together, 5 plus 3 gives you 8, times 2 is 16. So hopefully the perimeter is 16. So we're not going to need all these lines. We're just going to need a couple of them. The first one that I'm going to do here, just going to delete this and tell the user what we actually are doing. So we're starting with the dimensions and we're just going to let the user know how big our rectangle is. 5 centimeters by 3 centimeters. So this is just plain text. It'll spit both those lines out. Another trick that you can do is you can leave just a blank line between what you're doing so that it makes things more readable. And then we will print out the area. So the area is, and just like we did last time, inside the brackets, we'll actually do our calculation, which this time will just be 5 times 3, and it would be really nice if we actually put centimeters after. So just like we added these little less than symbols to add another piece of text, we can use those again. And I am going to use the little symbol here because this is a piece of text and that's what people are used to from math class. So this will take area is, it will do the calculation and print it out and then put centimeters at the end for us. So I'm just going to run the program here to make sure that everything is working properly. So there we go, we have our little explanation and then it calculates the area. So the next thing we need to do is calculate the perimeter. And remember, we're adding these and then multiplying by 2. Notice I'm just putting everything in brackets so that it's all nice and clean. And this is just centimeters because it's perimeter. It's not actually squared because we're not doing area. So we're going to run our program again. And notice we get the perimeter. One thing that you can remove, remember this was included because we were doing power, but we're actually not doing a power this time. And basic addition and multiplication is included, so we actually don't need this line of code. So if you don't need your include statements, remove them so that your program is more compact and neater. So there's the full program that actually is used for calculating area and perimeter of a rectangle.